We're here in somewhere, New Mexico. Got a pit tank that failed, and anyways, what happened is the water goes down, actually flows in like this it's supposed to, and the spoil was placed where I'm standing. Normally the spoil is placed at the mouth of the pit tank. So all this spoil, basically, the only thing we can think of is they placed it here so that they could divert the water from that arroyo and this arroyo into the pit tank. The only problem with that is it's diverted into the two grow-ins, or the corners. And after one storm event, all the sediment, there was a delta that formed right here of sediment. That's one storm. Found a soft spot and then went around and then battered that corner like a battering ram and ate at it till it sloughed off. And then I believe this was about 3,000 cubic yards, so it's a lot. It's about 330 dump truck loads. Therefore, there's a lot of soil that they have to move. So we're thinking they moved it all there and ran over it and over it. The main problem with this whole pit tank is that one, there's not a 4-to-1 inslope, because this is for livestock. And if you don't have at least a 4-to-1, you're gonna get some calves that maybe you can't get out of there and die. So I think the spec reads that it has to have a minimum of 5-to-1 or 4-to-1. I'll have to read it. So this is the inslope, so this should be whatever the spec says, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. And then this is the first arroyo. Water comes in right at the corner of the pit tank, so it has susceptibility of just running along the corner and eroding it like it did. All this was brought back in by the contractor to try to fix it one storm later. And then the other arroyo is right over here. And all that water was forced to hug and stay in the arroyo and enter at the corner. And eventually found a soft spot after it deposited this delta and weaseled its way into the grow-in and cut it. These slopes are indeed 3-to-1s. This one, we didn't measure it, but looking at it, it actually does look like a 4-to-1. But the problem is, like I said, forcing the water at the grow-in. So we have to come up with a solution to get this fixed, since it was a screw up. I show you this videos just to learn from mistakes. We can all learn from this one. It shows you the importance of where you put the spoil. If it were me, I would have put the spoil in such a way where it would have diverted the water from the arroyos into the center of the pond. And then if you had more sediment after I built those diversions, I'd put a diversion also in this arroyo to divert the water into the center of the pond. If you have more dirt after that, I would have just put all the rest of the spoil. So this per spec, we're supposed to put it a minimum of 12 feet away from the edge of the pond. I would have put all the spoil on that side. 3 feet high, and compacted, spread to nothing. The other thing that can be learned from this is that if this was built, let's just say it was built right, we would have still heard a complaint from the producer, because after one storm, this is how much sediment was deposited. So in 1 to 2 years, probably 1 year, this whole livestock pond will be filled with sediment. So in the design, there should have been something that would have compensated for a desilting area upstream, or making this pond bigger so as to compensate for the sediment that you catch. So maybe a couple of desilting areas in that arroyo and in this arroyo in the form of excavated pit tanks, or making this pit tank longer that way so as to be able to further the lifespan. But this is not going to last long, just due to the sediment it's going to catch. If you have any questions, let me know.